blessing to see you, Rabbi.
Yeah. Okay, so we're up to halfway through Ois Vov. V'lochin concludes the answer to the question. Pardon?
Okay, sorry. Can you? I'm having a problem. Can you mute everybody? Can you mute me? Mute me. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, everybody's muted. You unmute to make a comment, friends. A question. Okay, so we're up to V'lochin G'dolim Ma'aseh Tzadikim in answering the question. So the question again was that how is it possible that Avodah reaches the level, is greater than creation? The question is, especially after having explained that creation is the investment not of the Oir Stam, but the Amitis in the Oir. The Oir she'ein li tchila ve'ein li sof, and creation can only get to, and Niva can only get to his source. And the source basically is Ishtalshalus. And the level, which is Kahashecha Kairu, which Bederach Klal means this level of Bligvul, in the face of which dark and light, etc., Ma'aseh Tzadikim, Ma'aseh Rishonim are equal, that's not accessible by Avodas Tzadikim. The answer that is Yivcha Lono es Nachaleseinu, the Eibishter was Boicher. This is the Pnimis HaMakif. The Makif itself, Taka, we cannot get to. Makif is transcendent. Transcendence, by definition, is transcendence beyond us. Bligvul, by definition, is beyond us. But the Eibishter was Boicher in Avodas Adam, and therefore, even in our Gvul, Dika Avodah, even in the level of Ayin, which we reach, that relative level of Ayin, which we reach, our Avodah, in there is invested, even in that Ayin is invested and revealed the Pnimis HaKavanah. And that's because the Bechira of the Eibishter Atzmos comes from a level that's higher than all Giluyim completely. Because any Giluy, it already has an Atiyah, a Giluy revelation implies already a kind of a tzir, kind of an inclination. And mitzad an inclination, Avodas Tzadik, the Avodas HaTachton would have no value. An inclination of classic Bligvul, of the classic level of Ein Sof, or even the second level of Ein Sof. We said that we pointed out, it comes out in the mind, but there's three levels of Ein Sof. There's Ein Sof Gvulim, like numbers, but each one is Gvul. Then there's Ein Sof, where what the Ein Sof produces, or the Ein Sof itself, is Beli Sof, but Yesh Le Tachlis, Yesh Le Tchila. And then there's the whole Chiddush of the Maim is the Atzmi. This is consistent with the Rebbe's Maimorim, always revealing the Nekudah HaAtzmi. So then there's the third level of the Ein Sof, which is Ein Le Tchila, not only Ein Le Sof, but Ein Le Tchila, which the Oid is Mechadish and is Megale. The Rebbe is saying is Mechadish and Megale in the Maimer of the Fidik Rebbe, where this is not spelled out, articulated so clearly. But the Rebbe is bringing it out. And that is that the Oid is expressive of the Moed, Mamish, the Maitzel, Atzmos, Ein Le Tchila, and also Ein Le Sof, as we demonstrated and explained. The Chiddush being that this is expressed by the Eibishter and all his Giluim and all of creation, which begs the question, therefore, so what is the Shalia needs to be understood. He took, again, pains to point out that this is Bepeil in creation, not only Bekoyach, not only as a Shirish, but Bepeil. Whole Arichas has been very nuanced, which we struggled with. But that's the end conclusion. So what is therefore accomplished by Avodah? What's accomplished by Avodah? So the answer l'chor simply is that Avodah is megalit that through even a limited avodah of the avodas tzaddikim, which is avodas atachten, which is to go from yesh to ayin. And what level of ayin is that? Not the ayin, the yesh, inside the Eivishter, but the ayin of the tachten, which is just one level above us, which is just ruchnius, one level above us, even essence, which is that zilus. But even in that limited avodah should be in this gala, the pnimius hakavon, as he calls it, the lashon of the Maimbe here, Achayin Shenikal Fa'omim Pnimius Amakiv Avad Lematzim Atzmus Mahus, which is Boiched that Chafetz B'Masem Shot Tzadikim Dafke. So what's the Chiddush of Avodah? The Chiddush of Avodah is it's accessible, but the Eibishter is accessible in all of his true infinite glory, but Avodah is Megaleh, that's the Nekud. And makes this world a did b'tachtein. Okay, v'lochin g'dolim. So up to Eisvav, almost halfway there. Concluding the question, v'lochin g'dolim. I have a different layout than you, but it's in the middle of the. What page is it? Just
the last word on the page Chaf from the 12 lines.
Oh, it's the last word on page Chaf. Okay.
No, 12 lines on the top.
12 lines on the top. The last word.
It's the last word of a line.
Oh, mamish a different layout.
9, 10, the 11th line, the last word.
V'lochin g'dolim. Yeah. Okay, that's very. How could that be a different layout? In the Eis itself, the same thing. The word before that is.
Goimer.
Huh?
Goimer. Period. It's Goin Yaakov.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sure. And that's the chiddush, therefore, of avodah over creation, kivin shemagi, mebechinas ha'ayin, because avodah, because of the bechira, we reach the level of ayin, kivin shenichel beyesh amiti, and it's one with the yesh amiti, v'ada bechinas ha'cheles, yecheles meaning God's pure potential for everything and for nothing. As we said before.
Where is this level of Yechelis?
Huh?
The level of Yechelis, that's higher than the
Yechelis Atzmos, that's the Lashon. The Eibush has an ability for everything and for nothing. Atzmos, as the Yechelis is Nichlal, is Kolal in the Yesh Amiti. Okay, tzorich, like everything in this mind, tzorich. Does he mean? I just said minutes ago that the whole chiluk between reality, what is, what's present, the pale, and avodah is the gilui. Just accessing this level and revealing it in creation. The words are not in the mind, but the words in the mind actually seem to imply, no, that through avodah in the makiv gufa, even though he said before, the lashonos before, were Atzmos Hamoed. The Moed is Megala, that which is only Sibbe Ilav Sibbe Shokad Melechas V'Sholem, that's Mamish Atzmos. So Hecha from them is Nishtar, it's Eibush did himself. It seems to imply here that we even hold good for this Amdag, this I don't know. So we'll leave it as I said it. And that is that the Chiluk, that Avoid is Megala. He didn't use the word Oisius Yashamiti before, but what's the difference? Let's conclude. And this is why the whole Moishe Mashiach described the Shabbos. What was the kviyas that year of Shechal Beis? I don't know. He who toils Erev Shabbos eats on Shabbos. So why is Shabbos the sum total of the Avodah? Because what's Shabbos Shinyoni Menucha? Shabbos is Menucha, rest. Now, what he's saying is it's Inyan Atzmi. as opposed to any gilui, any netiya, any function, any expression. It's being. Shabbos is being, and weekday is performing. True being is atzmos. What was the world missing before Shabbos? Menucha. That's what was missing. It was all about, till then, it was all performance. What was missing is menucha, tranquility. Menucha means literally to rest, but it means to be. Till Shabbos, what was revealed is God's performance, but who is He? So the I is Shabbos. But Shabbos, but menucha. Shabbos came, so menucha came, says the Medrash, says the Gemara. And that's why it says, which the simple meaning is saying God completed. He's saying like this, means Elikim was over. Elikim is God as creator over. Now it's God beyond creator, God as Eibishter. If the pasuk is just saying the creation was complete, that was stated earlier, that he completed heaven and earth. Here the diak is, it doesn't spell it out, but it seems to be saying is, the diak of this pasuk is that the union of Elikim, the Eibush as creator, that is over. And what's revealed is the union of Menucha. The Yedua, Teres Baal Shem Tov is known, the Baal Shem Tov is vot in Keser Shem Tov. Shakadosh Baruch Hu Nikra Menucha. Atzmos Eibishter is referred to Menucha. Again, tranquility being means not that it's not the pale moving. It's not shaykh, it's beyond movement. That shaykh and movement means change. Movement, expression means change. Obviously, there's before expression and there's after expression. It's a change. And then there's different expression. But if there's only one, it's a shinoi. So true menucha, true being, true tranquility, that's another word, refers to the Eibishter himself, says the Baal Shem Tov, meaning beyond movement, beyond change. Kitnua leishayich kibim kiim bedova shuv bezman mokem. Movement implies already on whatever level, time and space. It's in the grid of time and space that movement happens. Time is change, past, present, future. So place also is change. Different direction, that's change, even though they're simultaneous, but it's change. As is known that time and space are bound up. So therefore space also, in of mokim, is in of shinuyim, of change. First of all, the reality is that every...
What does that have to do with the first 6 days?
So 6 days that the Eibush is expressing Giloyim, Tnuas, different Giloyim. First day is Chesed and a change. Second day is Gevurah, a change. Third day is Tiferes, producing different things. But Shabbos, what? Change equals Zman and Mokim. Simply, each day was a different day. Each day created different spaces, different objects. And
Shabbos is not Zman.
Shabbos is Hayd and Zman and Hayd and Mokim. Shabbos is being. Weekdays I do, Shabbos is I am. That's why Shabbos is connected with Malchus, because Malchus is sovereign being. Shabbos HaMalka. Malchus isn't about performance. Malchus is about being. I am a Jew. That's from Malchus. Your mother determines, where the woman, which embodies Malchus, determines I am. Father, which is Zohar, which is the 6 days of the week, is your performance. Your Kohen, a Levi, Yisrael, Chiyutim, obligations, things to do. But who are you? That is a Shabbos Dikerinyan. That's why before a child is circumcised, one of the reasons that it's 8 days, because the child has to experience Shabbos. That's one of the main reasons. The I am a year, that's what Shabbos confers. Because Shabbos expresses the menucha, the I am of the Eibishter, as opposed to the weekday, which is God's creative performance, or God is creator. As it goes on to say, Hashem is truly Ein Sof, beyond creator, and doesn't move literally from place to place. As a creator, an artist, a performer does. The Gamin beget this man, and beyond also time. Time is higher than space. And therefore, says the Baal Shem Tov, the Eibush is called Menucha. This is quoting from the Baal Shem Tov, the Veshama Behirus Godel. There, the Behirus means the Behirus, that means something sparkles, but there's a better word. The brilliance. The brilliance. It's very great. Showing these are the Shonis of the Baal Shem Tov.
Same word,
Yeah, boy, that's the term, yeah. Brilliant, luminous, clear, clarity. Maybe clarity is a better word. Clarity in the sense of is something is blurred, it's clear. It means there's absolutely no obstruction. It means that what is, period, in its pure state of being. So the Gemara says that what did Shabbos bring to creation brought menucha. We have the answer to that question, and so since we're right. So Behirus means clarity. Clarity means it was always there, but now revealed. So so this supports what we suggested. The Taka invested in creation. Taka is the Yesh Hamiti. It's called a vet in Tanya, and it's all point of the Maimer. So what does Avodah do? It's the Behirus. Avodah reveals this truth. Similar to the word of Gola and Goyla, the Rebbe pointed out that Gola is not something else. It's the same word. It's the Aleph inside, which is the Behirus. It's a new world. It's the real world. So therefore, it goes on to say that after the Avodah, the Gemara, Maaseh Bereshis, which is Maaseh Bereshis, Hivik Hashem Yisborach Behirus, God revealed this truth, this clarity. So what's Menucha now? It's the Mo'er. All of creation emerges. Only a trace of it. This point we're saying. Only a trace of it is in creation, as it were, an impression, literally. So then comes Shabbos. This I just have to see the Baal Shem Tov's word. Looks like he says some of this. So through Shabbos, what Shabbos does is it's been ma'ored by creation, the desire, the will and the desire and the longing, these alloys, the beginners hamnuch, to connect to the Eibishter, to this level of menucha, to connect to him, who's present but only impressioned, as it were. And all of heaven and earth is completed. More than that, Vaychulu absorbed that Shabbos pearls. Shabbos comes and is arouses by creation, by the Yid, the desire to connect to and reveal the Eibishter himself. Being absorbed and longing and absorbed and thirst. So,
but this only happens after Avodah.
Well, this is Shabbos comes as ma'odah the Avodah, and then it happens. Yeah. Ba Shabbos ba menucha. Shabbos is.
What's he saying at the beginning of the sentence? The Inyan ba Shabbos ba menucha achar shel achar gemar ma'asav bereishis. So in other words,
now
it's all dependent on our Avodah.
Yeah, but Shabbos, yeah. Shabbos is ma'ored us to do the avodah, to have this kiloyin and shukah for atzmos.
There is something there before, but this is.
That's what Shabbos does.
There is something before.
Atzmos is present in creation, but concealed. This is in the words of the Karosha. There's the Rosha, the impression, but not the Giloy. So Shabbos comes. What's the empowerment? Shabbos is a gift. We don't make Shabbos. Like Yom Tov, we have to create Yom Tov. Shabbos is Mekatsha v'Kaimu. So Shabbos is the Sarusa de La'ela, the awakening from above that is ma'ored by a Yid to long and desire and therefore reveal through Avodah, not to remain with the longing, but with Avodah to reveal the Yesh Amiti, the Eibishter himself, and to have this complete tranquil oneness. Shabbos is about being there, not going, but being, absolute unity. Not getting there, being. And that is silent and tranquil.
Rabbi, would it be the intimacy that comes within the stillness after all the work, after all the avodah, after all the work and worship, which being the same thing, that it's only after all the avodah that we have and all that gilui that we finally have the stillness of just the being. Like when a couple understands each other so well, they don't have to speak to each other. They're just one with each other in the stillness.
Yeah, not in the rush, and not in the storm, and not in the fire, but the still small voice. That is where the etzem resides. Yeah. So let's continue. Good. By the number 78. I don't know if you have the same numbers as me. 78? Yeah. Moving from this teaching of the Baal Shem Tov. Yeah, we'll look it up, Linda. The Shinyan Amenucha, the Shabbos, Ba'atzmos and Bahos. So from this whole Torah, we can see as we're explaining it, the Rebbe is explaining. I'm sure there's Isis of the Rebbe here in the Baal Shem Tov's Vort. Akoponim, so it comes out that what is Shabbos? It's the tranquility, the rest, the being, Ba'atzmos and Bahos, in the very essence of Eibishter himself. It's only there, or let's rephrase that. Other than there, in Atzmos, in being, everything else is subject to change and flux, either growth or decay, one of the other. And even a growth is a kind of a decay because it's a progression towards its disintegration. All things are. Only Atzmos is truly I am and being and eternally so, without beginning and without end. And that's what Shabbos affords and is ma'ored and arouses by every Yid. It's just interesting why the Rebbe is bringing the Indian, because he wants to bring the Baal Shem Tov, okay? That year we learned Kama Maimorim on the Indian of Shabbos, so it's a Hemshech. So this is also what's explained in the Kama in Drush Chsiddish, Shabbos Ulamayim Azman. The Shabbos is beyond time. Why do we say every day today is the first day? It should be a progressional count. Today is the day number whatever, 100 million since creation or more. Every day, day one? Yes, because Shabbos, there's a complete cancellation, as it were, and transcendence of all shinuyim and change, plugging into the I am of the Eibishter, and so that it starts again. Time begins anew again. It's day one, not day whatever it is. Years, not so. Years get a number. It's year numbers, Tavshin Pei Beis. The months are quasi in between. It's 1 to 3, 4, 12, but then repeats again within the year. There's the whole Hasbarim Chassidus for these. I think we learned this. These relative models of time. It's relative time, and it's on various levels of time. And let's rephrase that. Beyond time has many levels. Beyond time is not one transcendent level. There's many levels of beyond time. As infinite is relative. At any rate, but every week it's mamash a cancellation of Zman and Yom Rishon again. So v'hainu Shabbos olamayim azman gam kvisha b'ofen hayoysen nailish binyan azman. That's even Rambam here that Shabbos is high in time, even at the highest levels of time. There's levels of time which are not time on the clock, but time, levels. Levels. It's also Zman. And now he elaborates. Before actual hardcore time, there is the Seder, the order of time. We learned about this. This is rooted in Medrash. It's all Diyukim in the Psukim. It's from Seder Hazmanim. This is what it means that 2,000 years before creation, God, Alpaim Shana Kodma La'ilam, Torah is conceived. Well, there's no time. What does this mean there? So that's Seder Zmanim, different levels of time. It's from Seder Zmanim that comes actual hardcore time down here. And Rotz V'Shuv that Malachim are described as going out and returning, literally the pendulum of the clock. So that's also a kind of Zman. Moti v'loy moti, there's a higher level of it touches and doesn't touch. Reaches and doesn't reach. Nimshach, but not nimshach. Emphasis that contemporary physics, mamish cutting edge physics has a lot of oisius, as I've mentioned before. The physicists can use contemporary language to explain these subtle levels of time, which on one level it's static. You look deeper, there is movement. On one level, it's not time, it's unchanging. On a deeper level, there is this subtle there and not there, simultaneously, appears and disappears at the same time. It's mamish, this is contemporary cutting edge stuff. Quantum physics, again, not going to pretend I know anything about it, you just know about it. But I can tell you this, that quantum physics started making its strides and breakthroughs in around 1950. When Rebbe became Rebbe, I told you when Zalman wanted to do this, and they ended up doing it, is to show the breakthroughs in science as it parallels in Chassidus. And on the contrary, because it's revealed in Torah, therefore became, in science, these things became discoverable. Starting from the Baal Shem Tov, and then the big breakthroughs, the Alter Rebbe and the Rebbe Rashab, and in science, there are big breakthroughs in the way, radical breakthroughs in thinking about reality. But the biggest, most ethereal, spiritual, and radical is in quantum physics. And that's the Rebbe's Nesius, it's Tafshin Yud, that's when it all began. And it's in the Rebbe's Chassidus, the Etzem, Gilui Atzmus. Anyway, we're just saying words, but we get an idea. Okay, these levels of Rotzi, Shuva, Motiv, Lemoti, which are all subtle levels of time and change, being, not being, expression, non-expression, simultaneously exist in all the levels of Eir. So we speak not that, we're speaking in the Etzer, high than every level of Zman, every level of Gili, every level of expression. Shabbos, which is true menucha, which is the diakir is of the Baal Shem Tov, the behirus, the revelation of the menucha, the giloy atzmos. That's the whole kvetchi of the behirus. Hivik Hashem Yisbarach behirus, God sparkled, revealed it. So it's understood that menucha the Shabbos shlemayim kol sin azman. Shabbos higher than all the levels of Zman, Gam, Kifish, Azman, the Beifra, Yes, and Nilit, even at its loftiest levels, Shein, Shalot of Agil, whatever level we speak of, it's revelation, it's light. I feel away from Shel Shem. Then there's a level of a name. A name of a person is even a higher level of expression, greater bittul. It's even higher than Etzem Ma'or, than light. Without going to the detail. A name is also it's not the etzem, it's a way by which somebody else can refer to you, even if they actually don't. It's a way you can be called. You can be called. You can be called through your name. It is more than you can be called. You can be summoned. Shem is a way by which you can be summoned. It is already a gilui. So Shem is the highest dargah there in Yechelis. So it's all part of Zman. It's all part of of shinui, of change. If you can be cold, that means you're going there before you were here. Shinui. So Shabbos is high and all of that. So therefore it comes out that the true menucha is in the very essence, the very anoichi, the eye of God. That's why Torah is given on Shabbos, by the way. All opinions, Shabbos Torah was given because Shabbos is the gil of anoichi, havaya likecha. So begin the zoom agas avedis adam, and here because of the Eibish's bchira, because of his choice. Our avodah, our little avodah, which is in zman u'makim, the ayin that we can reach, which is connected to zman u'makim, mishtal shalos, and you put the tefillin, minutia. You had a good machshava, a good dibur, a good ma'aseh. One would think in the grand scheme of things, it's absolutely insignificant. The answer is it's everything, because Eibush was boicher. And it's in this level atzmos that avodah reaches al menucha the Shabbos body kolosin avodah. How do we experience Shabbos? Avodah mishatorach be'erev Shabbos eicha b'Shabbos. So Shabbos both empowers us, and Shabbos is both the empowerment and the result. This was a common theme. My name is Borchen Kula Yoima. Shabbos blesses the days of the week, and Shabbos is the result of the days of the week. So you're saying this here, Bekitzer. Shabbos empowers. Bo Shabbos bo menucha. It's the source of the le'elo, the empowerment. And then through keeping Shabbos and connecting, then we reveal mamish, Misha Tarach b'Shabbos. That's avodah yechel b'Shabbos is the gil of atzmos and mahos, where in our lives and in the world.
The avodah is the 6 days of the week from Shabbos.
The avodah is the 6 days of the week in the Shabbos dik away. In the Shabbos dik away. That's havdalah, that the wine spills over into the plate below to bring into all of the activity, the doing, and the accomplishment, the Giluy Atzmos. What's this all about? What's the mile of all this doing? What are you busy with? Where are you running? What are you doing? All of this detail is not some building some grand Elam Haba, building, investing in some big reward over there. This every act is a connection in the deepest way to Atzmos. That's the whole point, that the work be suffused, the weekday be suffused with Shabbos, which is why we say every day, Hayoim B'Reim Edition the Shabbos, put the same edition the Shabbos, Shein the Shabbos, Lich the Shabbos, Chamish the Shabbos. When Shabbos comes, Shabbos will come. We're not, we remember there's a Shabbos coming. The whole point is that we have to connect every day to the union of Shabbos, meaning that what is all about it. I am a Yid, and Atzmos is chosen and invested in me, and every moment is the deepest moment of tranquility. What this means really is that Shabbos gives the ability, then all of the vicissitudes of life and all of the tensions and the changes, the different things, the obligations we have. Here he's davening, and here he's a father, and he's a businessman, and here all the things that we do. It's threaded with a deep tranquility of being, the deep menucha. At the same time, of all of the different obligations and changes, man and mokum that we have, it's all threaded with a deep calm that nothing in the world can erode, can touch. I'm a Yid, and this is a moment of deepest connection to Hashem. And every morning we have to daven, because we can't consciously think about that, because you got to be busy what you're doing. But if davening is the way it should be, which is a little bit of Shabbos, then that should give the foundation that the rest of the day we don't get in we don't get in those bent out of shape, and we don't go crazy, and we don't get angry, and we don't get frustrated. Frustration is the opposite of menucha. The opposite. Because frustration is really anger. And frustration, it should be this way. Why is it that way? No, this is the way it should be. Every moment this is it. If you're frustrated, it means you don't want to be. You want to be something else. So it's the opposite of menuch, the opposite of the whole nakuda. So that's why we have to daven in the morning the way it should be, and then we have to take a break, mincha, daven again, and then ma'ariv. Constantly to plug into this nakuda of Shabbos. Constant, and then grab a till in the middle of the day and remind yourself again, hey, what's going on? What am I doing here? But you can lose sight in a second. You can lose sight even while you're davening. I don't have to tell you. So it's constant avodah. All right, it's already late, so that will be our story, and we'll go now to daven. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Psuras Toivos, Baruch Daino Emes, dear Mikey.
Who? What?
Mikey Goddison passed away this morning.
Dynamics.
Yeah. So the kids have to come from Ari from Florida. We'll see what's going to happen. Stay tuned, and they could say Tilim for him, Shnais and Mitzvah, do something. Suffer terribly. If he's pure, Neshama is pure.
Two guys in one week.
God bless you, Rabbi. Have a good day out, everyone.
To the Stavers, yeah.
All the best.